Good evening, friends. Good evening, friends. It's New Orleans, it's 10 o'clock, we're just getting started. My name is Jason Shelton. I serve the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Nashville, Tennessee for one more week. And we are delighted to have you here this evening. I just simply want to say sometimes to know where we are, we have to remember where we've been. And we invite you on that journey back tonight.
Go down, I say. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Tell Pharaoh that we are a free people. We claim for ourselves every single right that belongs to a free-born American. And until we get these rights, we will never cease to protest and assail the ears of America. We claim the right of free men to walk, to talk, and be with them that wish to be with us. For no man has a right to choose another man's friends. We want the laws enforced against rich as well as poor, against capitalist as well as laborer, against white as well as black. We want our children trained as intelligent human beings should be. They have a right to know, to think, to aspire. How shall we get these things? By voting where we may vote, by persistent, unceasing agitation, by hammering at the truth, by sacrifice and work. Justice and humanity must prevail. On this rock, we have planted our banners. We will never give up. We appeal to the young men and women of this nation. Stand up for the right. Prove yourselves worthy of your heritage. Courage, brothers. The battle for humanity is not lost or losing. All across the skies sit signs of promise. The morning breaks over blood-stained hills. We must not falter. We may not shrink. Above are the everlasting stars.
My name is Ruby Bridges. When I was 6 years old, the civil rights movement came knocking at the door. It was 1960, and history pushed us in and swept me up in a whirlwind.
November 14th, 1960. The big marshals stood her on the curb, and a jangle of jeering shrieks went up from behind the barricades. The men turned her around like a doll, and then the strange procession moved up the broad walk toward the school. Then the girl made a curious hop, and I think I know what it was. I think in her whole life she had not gone 10 steps without skipping. But now, in the middle of her first step, the weight bore her down, and her little round feet took measured, reluctant steps between the tall guards. Slowly, they climbed the steps and entered the school.
Going step by step, moving forward, going row by
I ask you, does segregation of children in public schools solely on the basis of race, even though the physical facilities and other tangible factors may be equal, deprive the children of the minority group of equal educational opportunities? We believe that it does. Segregation of white and colored children in public schools has a detrimental effect upon the colored children. The impact is greater when it has the sanction of the law, for the policy of separating the race is usually interpreted as denoting the inferiority of the Negro group. A sense of inferiority affects the motivation of a child to learn. Segregation with the sanction of the law, therefore, has a tendency to retard the educational and mental development of Negro children and to deprive them of some of the benefits they would receive in a racially integrated school system. We conclude that in the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place. Separate educational facilities are inherently unequal. Therefore, we hold that the plaintiffs and others similarly situated for whom the actions have been brought are, by reason of the segregation complained of, deprived of the equal protection of the laws guaranteed by the 14th Amendment. August 1955. 14-year-old Chicagoan Emmett Till is visiting family in Mississippi when he is kidnapped, brutally beaten, shot, and dumped in the Tallahatchie River for allegedly whistling at a white woman. September 1957. A formerly all-white Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, 9 black students are blocked from entering the school on the orders of Governor Orville Faubus. President Eisenhower sends federal troops and the National Guard to intervene on behalf of the students, who become known as the Little Rock Nine. Over the spring and summer, student volunteers begin taking trips through the South to test out new laws that prohibit segregation in interstate travel facilities, which includes bus and railway stations. Several other groups of freedom riders, as they are called, are attacked by angry mobs along the way. May 1963. During civil rights protests in Birmingham, Alabama, Commissioner of Public Safety Eugene Bull Connor uses fire hoses and police dogs on black demonstrators. These images of brutality, which are televised and published widely, are instrumental in gaining sympathy for the civil rights movement around the world. September 15, 1963. A bomb severely damaged a Negro church during Sunday school services, killing 4 Negro girls and setting off racial rioting and other violence in which 2 Negro boys were shot to death. 14 Negroes were injured in the explosion. 1 Negro and 5 whites were hurt in the disorders that followed. Some 500 National Guardsmen in battle dress stood by at armories here tonight on orders of Governor George C. Wallace, and 300 state troopers joined the Birmingham Police, Jefferson County Sheriff deputies, and other law enforcement units in efforts to restore peace.
I came into this world as a healthy 7-pound baby. My parents' first child on September 8, 1954. My father's parents were sharecroppers who worked the land under the boiling Mississippi sun. My mother's parents were sharecroppers too. I spent every summer of my childhood on her family's vegetable and dairy farm. The hot summers were good ones. When I fell into bed at night, I was tired, yet happier than at any other time in my life. My family moved to the old seaport city of New Orleans in 1958 when I was 4. On the block where I lived, everyone was black. My world in those days was comfortable and safe. When it came time for me to start kindergarten, I went to the Johnson Lockett Elementary School. My segregated school was fairly far from my house, but I had lots of company for the long walk. All the kids on my block went to Johnson Lockett.
Howdy. Jim Crow's the name. I consider myself a social interlocutor. You're new here, let me tell you a bit about how we do things in these parts. Just a few simple rules and we'll get along just fine. 1, never assert or even intimate that a white person is lying. 2, never impute dishonorable intentions to a white person. 3, never suggest that a white person is from an inferior class. 4, never lay claim to or overtly demonstrate superior knowledge or intelligence. 5, never curse a white person. 6, never laugh derisively at a white person. 7, never comment upon the appearance of a white female. It's all very simple, really. Oh, and just a few little ordinances to be mindful of. Alabama, all passenger stations in this state operated by any motor transportation company shall have separate waiting rooms or space and separate ticket windows for the white and colored races. Louisiana, the Board of Trustees shall maintain a separate building on separate ground for the admission, care, instruction, and support of all blind persons of the colored or black race. North Carolina, the state librarian is directed to fit up and maintain a separate place for the use of colored people who may come to the library for the purpose of reading books or periodicals. South Carolina, it shall be unlawful for any parent, relative, or other white person in this state having the control or custody of any white child by right of guardianship, natural or acquired, or otherwise, to dispose of, give, or surrender such white child permanently into the custody, control, maintenance, or support of a Negro. Georgia, all persons licensed to conduct the business of selling beer or wine shall serve either white people exclusively or colored people exclusively, and shall not sell to the two races within the same room at the same time. Florida, the schools for white children and the schools for Negro children shall be conducted separately. Georgia, the officer in charge shall not bury or allow to be buried any colored persons upon ground set apart or used for the burial of white persons. Oklahoma, an instructor who shall teach in any school, college, or institution where members of the white and colored race are received, are enrolled as pupils for instruction, shall be deemed guilty of a misdemeanor and upon conviction thereof shall be fined. Mississippi, the warden shall see that the white convicts shall have separate apartments for both eating and sleeping from the Negro convicts. Now that wasn't so hard, was it? Oh, just one more thing. Arizona. It will be a state crime to be in the country illegally, and legal immigrants will be required to carry paperwork proving their status. Arizona police will generally be required to question anyone they reasonably suspect of being undocumented. Oh, and that part of the Voting Rights Act requiring states and localities with a history of discrimination to get federal permission before changing their voting procedures or enacting voter ID laws or redrawing their districts? I think we can all agree we're past that now, right? Are we clear?
Keep your race in its
What I didn't know in kindergarten was that the federal court in New Orleans was about to force white public schools to admit black students. In late spring of my first year at Johnson Lockett, the city school board began testing black kindergartners. They wanted to find out which children should be sent to the white schools. I took the test. I was only 5. That summer, several people from the NAACP came to the house. They told my parents that I was one of just a few black children to pass the school board test, and that I had been chosen to attend one of the white schools, William Frantz Public School. My parents argued about what to do. My father didn't want any part of school integration. He didn't think things would ever change. My mother was convinced that no harm would come to us. She thought that the opportunity for me to get the best education possible was worth the risk, and she finally convinced my father. On Sunday, November 13th, my mother told me I would start at a new school the next day. She hinted there could be something unusual about it, but she didn't explain. There might be a lot of people outside the school, she said, but you don't need to be afraid. I'll be with you. Hold my hand, child, hold my hand. Someday you will understand. Straight ahead, child, never fear. God is watching. Love is near. Little white shoes and starched white dress, little back feet in this wilderness, eyes wide open, trying not to skip. Who couldn't love you? Singing voices, raising hands, march you through the angry bands. Those whose work you must carry on, they're cheering for you. Hold my hand, child, hold my hand. Someday you will understand. Straight ahead, child, never fear. God is watching. Love is near. For the world, child, is not fair. Danger follows everywhere. Lift your eyes, child, you will see. God is watching. You are free.
The author John Steinbeck was driving through New Orleans with his dog Charlie when he heard about the racist crowds that gathered outside the Front School each morning to protest its integration. He decided to go see what was happening. He especially wanted to see a group of women who came to scream at Ruby and the few white children who crossed the picket lines and went to school. These women were known as the cheerleaders, and their foul language even shocked a man as worldly as Steinbeck. The show opened on time. Sounds of sirens, motorcycle cops, then two big black cars filled with big men in blonde felt hats pulled up to the front of the school. The crowd seemed to hold its breath. 4 big marshals got out of each car, and from somewhere in the automobiles, they extracted the littlest Negro girl you ever saw, dressed in shining, starchy white, with new white shoes in feet so little they were almost round.
I remember climbing into the back seat of the marshal's car with my mother, but I don't remember feeling frightened. "Let us get out of the car first," the marshal said. "Then you'll get out, and the 4 of us will surround you and your daughter. We'll walk up to the door together. Just walk straight ahead and don't look back." There were barricades and people shouting and policemen everywhere. I thought maybe it was Mardi Gras. Then we climbed the high steps to the front door. There were policemen in uniforms at the top. The policemen at the door and the crowd behind us made me think this was an important place. It must be college, I thought to myself. From behind the windows of the office, all I saw was confusion. I told myself this must be the way it is at a big school. My new teacher was a Mrs. Henry. She was young and white. I had not spent time with a white person before, so I was uneasy at first. Mrs. Henry led my mother and I upstairs to the second floor. She took us into a classroom and said to have a seat. When I looked around, the room was empty. There were rows of desks, but no children. I thought we were too early, but Mrs. Henry said we were right on time. My mother sat down in the back of the room. I took a seat up front, and Mrs. Henry began to teach. Being her only student wasn't a chore. She was more like my best friend than just an ordinary teacher. She was a loving person, and I knew she cared about me. Little by little, I grew to love Miss Henry.
Come in, this is your door. Come in the room and you will find a friend. I think we're not so different, you and I. Come in, I've got a cozy corner we can share. Just here. Ruby, you're a special one. Pray that I can see you through. There's so much meanness in the world, but you should know they don't see what I see. In here, you're just a little girl who has a right to learn who she can be. With faith and time, you'll see that I believe in you. We've much to learn, we two. Come in and close the door. The world is open to explore. One thing more. Ruby, you're my special one. Know that I have come to love you. Little girl, be brave, be strong. I will always be here for you.
There is no easy way to create a world where men and women can live together, where each has his own job and house, and where all children receive as much education as their minds can absorb. But if such a world is created in our lifetime, It will be in the United States by Negroes and white people of goodwill. It will be accomplished by persons who have the courage to put an end to suffering by willingly suffering themselves rather than inflict suffering upon others. It will be done by rejecting the racism, materialism, and violence that have characterized Western civilizations, and especially by working toward a world of brotherhood, cooperation, and peace.
One morning, Mrs. Henry noticed me walking toward the school as usual, but then I stopped, turned toward the angry, howling crowd, and seemed to be speaking to them. The crowd looked ready to pounce on me while the marshals tried in vain to keep me moving. Finally, I stopped talking and walked into the school. Mrs. Henry immediately asked me what happened. Why did I try and talk to such a belligerent crowd? I told her I wasn't talking to them. I was praying. I was praying for them. I had stopped every morning a few blocks away from the school to pray for the people who hated me. But on this morning, I had forgotten until I was already in the middle of the mob. Please, God, try to forgive these people, because even if they say those bad things, they don't know what they're doing. So you could forgive them, just like you did those folks a long time ago when they said terrible things to you.
repeated lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Just like moons and like suns, the certainty of the tides, just like hope's springing high, still I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I am a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide, leaving behind the nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Rise up, brand new day. You know that love will find a way. Rise up, brand new day. You know that love will find a way. Rise up, brand new day. You feel the feeling, people. Love will find a way. It's gonna find a way. Rise up, brand new. Get up, get up, get up, get up. That love will find a way. It's the wind. Rise up, brand new day. It's a brand new day. That love will find a way. It's gonna find a way. Rise up, brand new. Come on, get on the love will find a way. We rise.
This is Mr. Tony Jackson right here. This is Jen Heyman over there. Miss Marilyn Keller. Mr. Davey Mooney on the guitar. Mr. Rassan Barber on the saxophone. Mr. Cremaine Booker on the cello. Mr. Brian Blade on the drums. Mr. Clark Summers on the bass. And the man who created this entire project, Mr. Darrell Grant on the piano.
One of our narrators, our conductor, and the arranger of the choir parts, Mr. Jason Shelton.
Bless you all for staying up so late. Tell all your friends how amazing this is and come book us. Good night. Oh my gosh! And the choir! The choir! Almost forgot. Okay.